there, our precious friends. Thank you so much for joining us, staying with us, and keeping track of how we are going. We're doing so well because you've constantly been subscribing, sharing with your friends, and we're growing. Thank you for joining this live with us. Welcome to the Born to Lead TV show. I am here with Stephen Mwiru, and I'm your host, Esther Neema, and I'm so grateful we get to share these insights. Last episode, we talked about the pillars of personal development, and one of them was work. We talked about work and finding life's purpose. Whilst many people journey through life to find their life purpose and they really struggle through it, a few actually find it very easy. So we want to be part of those who find it very easy, and this session should be leading us into that journey. I'm excited. I hope you are too. And thank you once again for joining us. Steve, take us through work.
Thank you very much, Esther. And I also want to just echo what you've said. Welcome, our very precious friends. And I want to remind you, this is the Born to Lead TV show where we discuss matters, life skills, and leadership. Never forget that you were born to lead. But the question is, do you know in which area you should be leading? Because that's exactly what this question of work, this question of purpose, is going to be addressing, and I can't wait to get into it with you. So please keep it tuned as we dive deep into these very interesting waters of life purpose.
Steve, I know this is a very interesting topic for you because the first episode that we did, you actually mentioned that you found your purpose later on, and yet you are already doing in a thriving career, you're already an entrepreneur, you're already an architect, but then you reach this point and you found your purpose. So I know this is a very interesting conversation for you. So what does purpose entail, and how do we get into that space using your own story just to understand purpose and work?
Thank you very much, Esther. It is very good that you've asked that question.
Yeah.
As we say, this is one of the pillars that we should be talking about in terms of personal development.
Yeah.
We really need to know how should we improve so that we are doing work that we enjoy, and we are doing work where we are also thriving.
Yeah.
Without too much ado, without too much, I would say, resistance. You're just in the flow. Now, for us to understand purpose, even before I go to my own story, allow me to define what purpose is. As an English terminology, that purpose is the reason for being, is the reason for the existence of something. Once you understand that, then it follows, if you don't know the purpose of something, you'll either abuse it, misuse it, or underuse it. In fact, somebody once said, where purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable. So you want to get into a situation in your life where you don't feel abused, you don't feel misused, you don't feel underused. So you can then add that purpose is about applying yourself in a venture or in a place where you are giving your maximum output, and you are also gaining maximum fulfillment, and you are having maximum impact.
That
is what purpose is. And to sum it up, let me give a quote from Einstein. Einstein said that if you are to judge the genius of a fish by its ability to climb a tree, then that fish will live its entire life believing it's very stupid. Because think about it. If you tell a fish to climb a tree, you are literally killing it. Because it was never created for that kind of an activity. It cannot climb a tree. But that's exactly what many people live like. They live like fish out of water trying to climb a tree. In short, the genius of a fish is not in climbing trees. The genius of a fish is in swimming. And in water, for that matter. It can't swim in Uji. So when you talk about purpose, you also must define the medium of operation, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know that famous story about a shark and a lion. in the battle of a shark and a lion, who would win?
Yeah.
And the answer always is
where.
it depends on where. So the medium of operation becomes very important.
Yeah.
So basically, when you talk about purpose, it simply means it's getting to understand your genius and where you should be applying that genius for maximum impact and maximum fulfillment. In a nutshell, that's what purpose is. So what you need to ask yourself is, what's your genius? Now, once you find your genius, where should I be applying it? And what kind of impact should it be having? If you can figure that out, then you've figured out what your purpose is. And that's what we'll be discussing. How can you figure it out?
That's what we'll be discussing. I'm just curious to know, even before we discuss that, what are the odds that many people actually get to find their purpose? Because people are either informed by their grades, what they will eventually go to study, and then their grades will inform their work, and their work will be determined on the availability of that job. And if that job does not exist, then a lot of people fall off and just take whatever comes. So what are the odds that many of us actually get to find our purpose?
I think if you are, as I said in our previous show, if you're intentional in terms of how you live, you get to a point where you start feeling you are not satisfied with what is happening in your life.
Yeah.
But from that point on, what determines whether you end up finding your purpose and therefore going on to become fulfilled is really your initiatives. If you never feel that you should push to know what is that is lacking, then chances that you'll find that purpose and manifest it are very low. And to answer your question directly, what are the odds? To be honest, there are very many people who never quite find what they're meant to do. And as you've said also, our education system is structured such that we are prepared for the job market. And when you start doing a job and you have all these responsibilities, which you need to take care of with the money you get into sort of a trap, a life trap, where you are in a cycle where you work to pay bills and you have to continue working to pay more bills. But in essence, if you ask someone, what more is there to the job you are doing? Most people will tell you nothing.
Yeah.
In fact, there are people who can't wait to just retire and they are bored. They don't like it. But why I started the Born to Lead movement, because I call it a movement, is to sensitize people that there is more to life than just working to pay bills. We weren't born to work, make money, pay bills, repeat until we die. Because you might die a very miserable person. I read somewhere that at the end of your life, just before you exit this world, the person you should have become will meet the person you became. And they'll have this existential conversation, which will be about, you were meant to be this, but you only became this. What really happened? When that picture of what you could have become is
flashes
revealed to you, when it is revealed to you, you will feel very miserable if you never became that. My dad used to, he was a nice, interesting man. He used to joke, but I take that joke very seriously. But if you look at dead people, you will see two kinds of scenarios. There are people whose faces look like they are smiling, and there are people whose faces look like they are in pain. And I was like, what's the difference? Why? Okay, I never taken that kind of thing seriously, observing dead people to see whether they are smiling or not. But since he said that, I've actually observed very many. And I've seen it is true. And he said, somebody who lived their life fully, they discovered what it is God wanted them to do. They were true to themselves. They were true to their gifts. They were true to their calling. When they come to the end of their life, they will be at peace with themselves.
They say it is finished.
In fact, they welcome death. They don't fear death, right? But if you still feel there's so much you could have done and you feel like you never quite impacted the world in a positive way. Maybe there are even very many people who are unhappy because of you. When you come to the end of your life, you will have regrets and you will wish you could come back. But unfortunately, you can't come back. So basically, you need to get to a point where you ask yourself, what is life all about?
Yeah.
Is there more to you than you're experiencing? If you've never gotten to that point, it's hard to find life purpose.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or maybe you already are in it.
Yes. That's another way of looking at it. Maybe you're already, but you know, if you're already there, then you will know it.
You will know it.
You will know it because you look forward to doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even do it because of the money.
Yeah.
No, you will do it anyway. Even if there was no money, you would still do it.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yes.
I think the measure of knowing if you're in purpose is the satisfaction, the passion, the why you do it. I think that's the measure.
Yeah, and the other thing is this,
Yeah.
if you're already doing what you are meant to do, you don't even start thinking about longevity of life, because you can live a long, miserable life. You can live, I don't know whether to call it a short
Whenever.
You can live an enough life that you have enjoyed, because what you are doing, you've enjoyed and you've made the impact and you exit. And I like, citing the example of Jesus Christ.
Yeah. 30 years.
He was here for just 33 years.
Yeah.
And actually, he only did what he was sent to do for 3 years. Because for that years, he was growing just like us. He was being prepared. But for 3 years, that's when he really went into his ministry and it was over.
Yeah.
And on the cross, he said, it is
finished.
Done.
I think so.
And you look at his ministry, it's perhaps the biggest ministry in the world.
Yeah.
Isn't it? It has the biggest
impact,
following and impact.
He knew his assignment and he did it and he came to do it. Even Pastor Miles Monroe, I think he had mentioned in his preaching about he didn't really want a long life. But when you look at it, he had literally done so much. Like right now, even his teachings continue to teach the world, even in his absence.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm actually a great student of his. I follow him a lot. I have a lot of his books. I listen to his podcast videos,
Yeah.
He has a lot of stuff. So the question then begs, how?
Yeah.
Now, if I may apply myself in this particular topic, when I was just practicing architecture of buildings and nothing else,
Yeah.
I was a very unfulfilled character. I used to feel there's a void, there's some hollowness, there's some emptiness that I could not explain. And they say that nature abhors a vacuum. When you are feeling there's something missing,
Yeah.
trust me, there's something that will come to fill that void. And most of the time, it's usually vices, things that are not productive, they are not beneficial.
Yeah.
And sometimes you even become anti-social, because you are looking for answers. And I found my answers when I attended a personal development class. But before I attended a personal development class, there were a few things that happened.
Yeah.
Like I was once involved in an accident, and that accident took me through my journey of life. I saw my life in flashes during the accident, of when I was a boy, in a poor place, growing up, struggling, working towards getting into a good school, not getting it the first time, working harder to get it the second time, and eventually just working to become an architect. But then I was asking myself, if I had worked so hard to be all this, why was I not fulfilled? And I was making money. I was meeting serious people. I remember when my epiphany happened, I was actually doing a project sponsored by a sitting president for a national school, Mangu High School, no less.
Yeah.
We used to call it Change the Face of Mangu project. Little did I know that I actually needed to change the face of Steve Moiro in terms of what he was doing,
Yeah.
So I was introduced to personal development. It's a long story. I don't want to get into the details because I want to teach people about how to find their life purpose.
Yeah.
And through it, I discovered that your life purpose is not about your academics. Academics are very important. And they would even be more meaningful if they were aligned with who you are. Your purpose is about things God has already put in you. You are already endowed with what He wanted you to use to accomplish your purpose. He endowed you, He equipped you. And that is about your gifts, your talents, and your natural abilities. Things that you would not need to go to school to find. They're already in you. Does a fish have to go to school to learn how to swim?
So it's in your innate, you already know.
You already,
it's just that maybe
you may not know.
You may not know.
You may not quite know, but you have them. What I'm saying is that they're in you. Maybe you just need somebody to awaken or something to awaken.
Exposure.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the problem is this, for most people, they assume. You could be very good at something, but you look at it and you're like, sioni kawaida. And that's a problem. Yet that is the thing that God wants you to use to accomplish a certain assignment. Because if you have to be very good in any assignment, the number one requirement is that you have to be good at it. You have to be skilled. You have to have what it takes.
You have to be a good singer.
You have to be a good singer. You have to be a good artist. You have to have it.
Yeah.
So there are things you already have.
And you're interested in, because your interests give you the direction.
Yes. And you do them so flawlessly that when people look at you, they go like, wow, that was awesome. But for you, you're like, what now? If you tell a fish, you swam very well. Will a fish even understand what you are saying? That's what it's meant to do.
Yeah.
A monkey climbing a tree.
That's
that
easy.
Yeah. In fact, it's tell you, give me a taller one. You see. So basically, when you talk about purpose, you're talking about things that you are so endowed with and you're so good at that you do them with ease, that you do them naturally. That doesn't mean you don't have to study anything. In fact, when you know what you're very good at, when you go to school now, you got to polish, you got to hone, you got to harness, you now got to even package so that you can serve to the world in an attractive way.
You go to learn how to package what you're already good at, but now set it in a very professional way.
Yes.
Yeah.
So for my case, I'd gone to school to study architecture, and that's okay. And I've done some very beautiful projects, but I wasn't getting very fulfilled. And in some cases, I was even becoming mediocre because you don't have interest. You don't have the motivation, you know?
Yeah.
But when I discovered what my purpose is, what my gifts are, what my natural abilities are, what my passions are, I was like, wow. And you know what is funny? I'll tell you what my passions are, but you know what is funny? When you ask whether you know, and I said you may not know, maybe I should correct that to say the level of awareness of what this means is what is lacking. You may know, but in terms of what does it mean? What can it do? That is what, as you grow, you grow up, you may not know.
Yeah.
For example, I know my special gifts are I can articulate issues, I can persuade people, I can speak well to people. I hope I am right.
Yeah. Maybe if you had gotten into a marketing career, it would have worked.
Somebody tells me that, sales especially.
Yeah.
But technically, what I realize is that I'm a good teacher. I can teach in a persuasive way, in a convincing way, and in an interesting way. That's what my packaging is, a teacher. Now, as to what I like teaching, that's the other thing, what you're passionate about. And when I look back from my childhood, I realized all along...
You did it?
I did it. Because in class, the teachers would always tell me, you're so good at this. Can you come to the front and demonstrate this
to others?
In other words, I used to do peer teaching even when I was very young. And that continued because even when I was in A-levels, during holidays, their students would come to me
to teach them.
Yeah. And even in normal life, when we meet, for example, for, say, organizing something, whether at family level or just friends level, you see people are telling you, you are the one who should do this, you are the one who should do this. Because they are looking up to you for something. There's some leadership that you have that they are seeing, which to you is nothing. So you find you're being called chairman of this, chairman of this, all those kind of things.
And I think then sometimes people help you know what you're good at by what they call you for.
That's absolutely true, because you can't see yourself in the frame. A picture can't appreciate itself. It's people who are outside the frame who can see it, say, oh, that's a beautiful picture.
Yeah.
It has this, it has this. So you actually need people to tell you that. Now, let me come back to how did I discover my purpose? When we were going through class, it was not even a class of purpose. It was a class where the guy who was training us was talking about writing books, and he was telling us to help him organize an event where he was going to launch his 10th book. And I was like, 10 books, how? You know? I didn't get the courage to ask him. But somebody asked, and he said, writing a book is not as difficult as people think. Because what's a book? A book is a story. It's a narration of something.
Yeah.
And if you want to write a book, the beginning point would be a story you are very familiar with. Which story are you very familiar with in this world?
Yourself.
Yourself. Because you've been with yourself since you were born. Some of the things you've done, nobody else even knows. It's just you. So imagine if you are to package your story in a nice way, you write it down and share that with the world. People look at it, wow, because there are some things you've gone through and overcome that can be such an inspiration to other people. And they look and say, if Esther overcame this and she's now who she is, what is this I'm trying to kill myself over? It's nothing, you know? But here is the point. In that story of yours, there are areas which you overcame not because of anything external, but because of some intrinsic qualities that you have, because of some gifts that you have, because of some abilities that you have. Now imagine if you are to apply those gifts, those abilities to help other people intentionally. Then you'll be making a lot of impact. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. Makes sense.
So when I realized, I've all along been teaching people, I've all along been inspiring people, I've all along been using my gifts of persuasion, articulation. I've all along been very compassionate. I help people to uplift themselves, to make them feel good about themselves, to help them feel loved. And I said, then if I could do this at a bigger scale, if I could make this my life mission, then perhaps I would have a bigger impact. And I went ahead to start the journey of packaging myself to become that kind of a person who inspires, who teaches, who edifies, who makes people believe they are greater than they thought they are, and who makes people discover their gifts, their talents, and help them package them so that they can share that with the world. Because in reality, the world is waiting for you to reveal your real self. The world is waiting for you to reveal your gifts, to reveal your abilities. And then it
wants to reward you.
Yeah, it will deal with you on your terms. Because you also need to define your terms. How are you dealing with that? Yeah. So, in a nutshell, that's what purpose is, and that's how I found my purpose. But I would also want to share some pointers or some practical things that one can do to find their purpose. Because I say there's a way we are all wired. When God created you, He didn't create you like me. He didn't create you like so and so.
Even our interests differ completely.
But then, do you know, even if you are born as twins, the so-called identical twins from a monozygote, you'll never be the same. You are two different people. There's a story that is told about some identical twins from Iran. I think this story was happening in 2003. Two girls who are 29 years and they were co-joined on the head. So they were as twins can be. Everywhere they went together. Everything about them was separate except
their head.
So at the age of 29, they said, we're tired of living these lives where we are going everywhere. It's dating, we go together, class, we go to everything. One was an introvert, the other one was an extrovert. One was pursuing journalism, the other one was pursuing law. So one started dating and the other one wasn't. So they said, no, we must tell our parents now, we need separation.
Wow.
And they went through with this. And
even though risky.
It was risky, actually, they died. But just before they went through with it, their lawyer asked them, why do you want to go through with this? And they said, you know what? It's because we would rather die as individuals than live without identity. And purpose gives you identity because it's what separates you from everybody else. What's your identity? What are the unique things about you that you bring to this world? What is that thing that gives you power? When people see Esther, they see a person who is very unique, who is very different, who is very powerful, who is having impact that nobody else is having in her area of speciality.
Someone said when you stay in your lane, everything that you have is in you. It's not a struggle. You just do it. Yeah.
Very true. So, can I just share some 5 things I say you need to interrogate? Then you can start that conversation of purpose.
Okay.
Number 1, you need to challenge the assumptions you've always had. Because we live on assumptions. If you went and studied this, you come out, you are a lawyer, you're an engineer, you assume, I was always meant to be a lawyer. After all, I got these grades and became a lawyer. But if you're not enjoying that legal career, you need to ask yourself, what more is there to me than being a lawyer? That is something I never interrogated until I did my personal development class, Was I meant to just be an architect? And that's giving a lot of people nightmares. The fact that they don't challenge their assumptions. The thing is, if you challenge your assumptions, you will find your truth. Because everybody has their true north.
Everyone has their true north.
Everyone has their true north. And once you know your true north, even if you're in the bush, the true north will always direct you towards where you're going. Isn't it? That's what purpose does.
Yeah.
The moment you find your areas of gifting, areas of natural abilities, you find your special talent. Yes. And
I feel like it will always call you. You can decide to take it or to ignore it.
True. But it will be there. It will be directing you.
Nudging you all the time.
It will be nudging you. From there, it's all about your intentionality now. But it will be telling you, this is the way, this is the way. Number 2, you need to get out of your comfort zone. A lot of the problems we face is because we get too comfortable with too little. We get too comfortable with just getting by, You have to take yourself out of where you are and perhaps even subject yourself to a situation that is just difficult. To start seeing...
Like entrepreneurship.
Yes. Or even just go to places where people have a lot of problems to see how you can survive or what you can do to help them. Sometimes your light bulbs will go on when you are trying to solve issues for other people. Let me give you an example. If you left here now and went to, I don't know whether that camp still exists. It used to be called Kakuma somewhere.
Yeah.
The kind of suffering that you are likely to encounter in that place, it can trigger something that has never been triggered in you. In terms of thinking, how can I alleviate?
Be of service.
How can I be of service? And you may notice something that you would ordinarily not notice somewhere else. Does that make sense? And that starts lighting up some bulbs in you. Oh, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. Because some of the gifts need triggers.
Yeah.
But those triggers won't happen when you are in your comfort zone. So make yourself uncomfortable and start asking yourself hard questions. In life, people refuse to do 2 things that are very important. Number 1, they refuse to answer questions that they must answer. And they also refuse to question answers they need to question. When you take everything as it is, you are not a questioning being. That can keep you rooted in an area you don't belong. So you need to get out of your comfort zone. Become a questioning being. Start thinking beyond where you are. Start thinking also about other people and what you can do to make their lives easier. Better. Number 3, once you find that truth, I said you'll find once you challenge your assumptions and find your truth, then you must start speaking the language of the person you want to be. Start seeking your tribe. And by tribe, And I know you have an organization called Dream Tribe.
Yeah.
And it's about people who are having these kind of dreams that are similar.
Yeah.
So you find your tribe by doing things that interest you. You seek people who are interested in what you are interested in, so that together you can create this synergy. Together you can walk this journey, because you can't do it as a lone ranger. It may be very lonely, it may be very frustrating. So I'm speaking the language of the journey I'm on. And that's why we are here. There are people who are going to listen to this or watch this, are people who are interested to learn about personal development. So when I started Born to Lead, I started now looking for people who are interested in this kind of a journey. And I found a lot. In the first place, that's why I went to a personal development program. And since then, I have gotten a lot of invitations from organizations, just telling me, we need you to come and do this. We need you to come. In fact, when we were here, I got a message. There's an organization that's calling me to go and do something.
Yeah.
They're asking me for a proposal. So if you speak that language, you will find your tribe. And when you find your tribe, you will feel at home. If you have not found your purpose, you haven't found your tribe. If you haven't found your tribe, you have not found your home. So you are just like a homeless person. You cannot be a comfortable.
Or you're in spaces and
happy.
you don't feel like you belong.
That's the thing.
Or people are enduring you because you are also not your best.
Yes.
Yeah.
You are like a vagabond.
Yeah.
So number 4, you also have to ask yourself, where can you make the most positive contribution in society?
That's a good question.
Where can you make, because now you have found your gifts, you have found your talents, where are they most needed? How can you apply them to make sure that you are changing lives? And this is informed by the fact that nothing exists for itself. God never created anything for its own sake, right? Let me tell you, a tent like this will be useless unless there's somebody who is under it for shelter. It will be useless.
Yeah.
It only becomes useful when people are here. If you see a mango tree somewhere, even if it's not fruiting, you will know that its value is in the fruit it's going to produce. But that mango tree will never eat a mango from itself. Have you ever seen a tree eating its own mangoes?
No.
Ama tuseme ng'ombe, a cow. It has so much milk, it's feeling. Ikwambie nikamue tu, you give me a cup, I take. Never. Or a river, it will flow forever. But not one time will it take a jug and take its own water.
Yeah.
Because that's not what it's meant for. And that's a very good perspective to understand purpose. What you have is for others.
Yeah, wow.
In fact, Picasso said, the purpose of life is to find your gift. And the purpose of that gift is to give it away. So you find your gift and then
you share
people.
Yeah. In fact, someone was even saying poverty sometimes comes as a result of you have the gift, but you're keeping it to yourself. You're not generous enough to let the world know that you have it and give as many people that are willing to pay you for it.
And you know that is why Miles Monroe, the gentleman you quoted, Dr. Miles Monroe, the late, said that the richest place on earth is actually not the oil fields in Middle East or the gold mines in South Africa, or wherever. It is the cemetery, the grave, because there lies a lot of people who never discovered their gift. Or if they did, they never utilized them.
Yeah.
So they died with books they could have written, music they could have composed, businesses they could have opened, shows like this they could have done. And therefore they didn't benefit anyone. And that's a tragedy of life. So number 5 statement that I wanted to share, I've shared 4. I hope you're keeping tabs. Is that, when you discover now where you've discovered what your tribe is, you allowed yourself to get out of your comfort zone, you've challenged your assumptions, and now you know you are true, you are speaking that language now. For you to actually manifest, you have to make your biggest decisions with your heart. It means that you have to shift things from here to here. Because
Wow.
The head is very rational, and that's okay.
It will always tell you to choose the safest,
Yes.
best.
Yes.
Not best.
Your
safest.
mind is programmed to
Survive.
protect you. But the truth is, you are not going to do anything great if you don't follow your heart. And following your heart means following your passion, following what you believe to be true, following what even others will, do I say dissuade you from doing? Because there are people who will look at something you're trying to do and ask you, what's wrong with you? Let me tell you.
Yeah.
You see this show we are doing now?
Yeah.
There's somebody who can ask, how is it even going to pay you? Why are you doing it? What's wrong with you? Is it going to put food on the table? Now, if you start thinking like that with some things, you will never know what you could have become. Because if you just do things for the immediate benefit, which is what the brain is likely to tell you to do, then you are lost.
Get paid.
Yeah. But when you follow your passion, you are doing things for posterity. You are doing things for others. You are doing things thinking future, long term. But more importantly, you are doing things with passion, with fire. And there's a guy called Ferdinand Foch who said, and I've quoted him in my first book, Why Not Me, that no weapon on earth is as powerful as a human soul on fire with purpose and passion. You cannot stop a person with fire in his belly and with passion in his heart. Those are forces of nature that are unstoppable. So make your small decisions with your mind and make the big ones with your heart. People will try to stop you, some of them thinking that they are protecting you from your own self. But in actual fact, they don't understand. Because when you have this big vision, it's not theirs. Visions are not shared initially. People will not see what you see. And this is why I say purpose requires courage. Because purpose is a calling on your life. It's not a conference call. It's on you. So you have to be very courageous. And allow me to say that, courage, the greatest courage is not the courage to fight a lion, like a Masai Moran, or get into a building to save a child when the building is on fire. That takes courage, yes. But the greatest courage is the courage to follow your heart, to stand for what you believe.
Everything is against you.
When people are going this way, if you can stand and say, no, I'm going this way because I believe that's where I need to be going. Now that's courage. But most people, why do they miss out on the boat to purpose? It's because they like following the crowd. They like fitting in. Purpose will demand that you be courageous enough not to fit in, not to follow the crowd, but stand out. Be that person who says, this is the way. You show others the way. No.
It's interesting how actually there's the fear of being seen, the fear of being...
Of limelight.
Yes. And they say secretly it's like also people fear success. So there's the comfort in the safety, where that's why maybe we don't discover our purpose. Because I think it would be everyone's wish to actually know their purpose. Yeah.
Very true. And that's why in our academy, we actually teach people a lot of practical steps to help them discover what their purpose is. And it takes a lot of introspection and reflection to know what deep down you care deeply about. And when you know what you care deeply about, it starts informing you in terms of what you should be doing to either, step into that space you care about and do something, leave a dent on the universe. But if you care deeply about something and you never do anything about it,
you'll always think about it, I assume.
And you'll always feel miserable. When you care deeply about something, it stirs your soul to want to make a difference. Because when you step into your purpose, ideally I say you become mad, you make a difference. And you should strive to make that difference.
Yeah.
So in the academy, we actually take people through a whole 2 weeks of practical things you can do. And we even give a matrix that It's like a mathematical thing, but it's not mathematical because purpose is not maths. But it does give you parameters you can use to see, oh, am I operating within this? And I can just give this because I read about this in a book called Purpose Driven Life by Pastor Rick Warren. And it's called SHAPE. The matrix is called SHAPE, SHAPE, which simply represents S is for spiritual pathways. Everybody has spiritual pathways that they have been endowed with.
Yeah.
In a different show, we will talk about that. H is about heart, Heart, which is about your passions, what you love with your heart. A is about the abilities I was talking about, things that you can do with so much ease.
Yeah.
And you don't have to struggle. P is about your personality type. We all have different personalities, and your personality traits are also a good indicator in terms of how you should be dealing with people and the kind of medium of operation you should be operating in. And E is about your experiences and exposure. You know, since you are born, God has taken you through a lot. You were born in a particular place. It was not an accident.
Yeah.
That place you were born, God had a meaning for it. And he's taken you through a journey that has taught you certain lessons that other people have not gone through. They are uniquely yours.
That is also part of your purpose.
Yes. So how do they combine with everything else in shape to then direct you in terms of what you should be doing and where you should be doing it, the impact you should be having?
Wow, that is powerful.
Yeah. So that's purpose for you.
Yeah, that is purpose.
Yes.
Okay, I feel like I have found my purpose, but you also can discover your other purpose, and you can also do it alongside your job. It doesn't always mean that you have to quit your job to do your purpose, because you said it's within you, so you can also do it alongside. Maybe as we do our parting shot, for the people who are already having jobs and they have to sustain them, how then can they get into their purpose even as we now close?
Those are two things you've put together.
Yeah.
One, that you can do your purpose as you do other things. Initially, I say yes, but you will realize because purpose is a calling on your life, as you grow into it, it becomes so big that you even need help. It consumes you.
Yeah.
Yeah? It becomes this thing that you, like there's an advertisement I was hearing about football some time back. They were saying, I sleep football, I eat football, I wake up football.
It's consuming, yeah.
So purpose will consume you. But what happens with purpose, because it gives you so much clarity. In fact, let me tell you, some of the benefits of finding purpose is, number one, it does give you clarity in terms of your life. So it gives you clarity in terms of what should you be waking up to do? What should you be immersing yourself in? And then purpose brings harmony. Now, this is the part where what you're talking about comes in. You have a job, you have a business, and then you found out these are my areas of gifting. It will bring harmony this way. That will also help you work on your management skills so that whatever you are doing as a business, you can now have other people do it and you are just overseeing as you pursue your purpose. It gives you that kind of clarity.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes. So purpose will create that harmony, that everything you are doing, since it's meant to serve a bigger goal, it is well harmonized, it's well coordinated. And don't forget, God is in it. You can't find purpose without involving God in it. So it's not like you have to stop or close your businesses. No. Like I haven't closed my architectural thing, but I'm here now. Am I doing it? No.
Yeah.
But it's going on. Why? I've been able to bring together a team that can do that. And they look up to me for a lot of guidance. The fact that I have them, that releases me to pursue my purpose.
The purpose itself.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
You don't abandon things, but then you learn how to accommodate them. Maybe there are some, depending on what benefits they bring, the impact they have, that you totally abandon. But no, eventually you will harmonize everything.
You will harmonize, okay.
Yes. And number three benefit of finding purpose is that it also helps you access your internal and external resources very fast. What I mean is, when you start doing or manifesting purpose, some latent forces you had, some latent talents become alive. You start understanding, I could also go to people's offices and ask them for these. That shyness goes. Now you're bolder.
Yeah.
You know, there's
for
things
you.
that just come alive because now you're pursuing something bigger than you. There's a bigger force pushing you. Also, your external resources in terms of, let's say, networks you need, in terms of maybe financiers who had money for a certain kind of a project, but since that was never your interest, you couldn't access it. And now you start doing something like
you actually can.
There are people who now want to be part of, you know. And
you actually mentioned you were invited to speak, like you had already done a lot of things before, but then now when you got into your purpose, you're invited to be a speaker in so many places.
Yeah, and people are willing to pay you. So in fact, I say purpose attracts provision. You will not lack.
Yeah.
You know? And purpose also puts you in a position of power, authority, influence. Yes, people start looking at you very differently. You know? And that is not something that is small, it's big. So when you find your purpose, people don't just look at you like that person. No.
You stop being common.
You stop being common.
Because you're in your lane.
It transforms you to an uncommon person.
Yeah.
Yes.
Extraordinaire.
Yes. And that's because you're walking in divine power. Yeah. People who are working and you're asking how can they find their purpose. If you want to find purpose, as I said, everything is about intentionality. That's what personal development is.
Yeah.
Attending programs like this, asking yourself deep questions, very hard questions. What is life all about?
Yeah.
Doing your own self-audit, asking people questions about what they think about you in terms of your strengths, in terms of your weaknesses. People don't like doing self-audits. And self-audits can actually guide you in terms of your purpose. You get to know, okay, I'm strong in this area, I'm strong in this area. People see it. I may not think about it. I need to pursue this.
Yeah.
So there are many things you can do, but it starts with having that deep conversation about hard things that you're avoiding.
Yeah.
Yes. So guys, we've been having this very wonderful discussion about finding your life purpose, and I started by quoting Einstein when he said that everyone is a genius, but if you are to judge the genius of a fish by its ability to climb a tree, then the fish will live its entire life believing it's very stupid because it was never created to climb trees. The question is, do you know you are a genius, or are you like a fish trying to climb a tree and therefore feeling very frustrated and wondering what is life all about? If you want to know more, please reach out to us at the Born to Lead Academy, and we can walk with you through this journey of personal development and particularly finding your life purpose so that you can step into your area of genius and leave a dent on the universe. Thank you very much. Until the next show, it is Coach Stephen Moiro saying, ciao.
Okay, you guys heard. You should practically have a SWOT analysis of your life to discover all the treasures that you have inside of you. And I believe that once you go into that journey, you definitely will find your purpose. I wish that for myself, and I wish that for each of you, precious friends. Thank you for joining us. We have been with Stephen Mwiru and myself, Esther Neema. Thank you for joining us, and stay tuned here at the Born to Lead TV show. Thank you once again.